Hello, my name is Helen Ma, and today I will propose a few solutions towards taking down big tech monopolies, in this case, those in social media. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, the internet started as a Wild West, where there were plenty of websites and forums for people to interact with each other in. And over the years, more centralized social medias like Facebook and Twitter have emerged. And so and this has gradually created monopolies. Solutions to this issue includes instilling regulation and implementing net neutrality, which are both forms of regulation, and developing alternative social medias. The first solution is to implement regulations for social media. And this graph here shows that the largest companies in the US from the 80s to today have shifted towards oil to tech companies. And due to this, as stated by Ryan Bourne of Cato Institute, experts and politicians worry that the emergence of big tech companies, as they are monopolies, will increase internet access prices and decrease innovation amongst websites. And some, like Elizabeth Warren, have advocated for antitrust laws to split up those monopolies. Angela Chen from MIT proposes two alternative views from experts on how to take down big tech companies through regulation. The first one, as presented by Hal Singer, a senior fellow at the Washington Public Policy Institute, he states that the government should prevent companies from promoting their own services to drown out competition. And an example of this is Google using reviews to drown out Yelp. And this has solidified Google's position as a tech monopoly. And another solution, as proposed by Victor Meyer-Schonberger of Oxford University, he states that the government should encourage large companies to share data with smaller ones, since data used by large companies is sufficient enough for those monopolies to maintain their power, and sharing it with smaller companies would allow smaller companies to grow. The second solution to big tech monopolies is installing net neutrality. And as defined by James Wilcox of Consumer Report, he states that net neutrality is the principle that all internet data essentially is treated the same and is delivered to customers with the same quality and speed, regardless of what website it is. It was established back in 2015 and later repealed in 2017. And not establishing net neutrality puts the internet in the hands of internet service providers, and they are able to favor websites based off of which companies pay them more. And in this case, big tech monopolies are those companies that are able to pay internet service providers more so that their service can be delivered quicker and at a higher priority. And this drowns out competition of smaller businesses. A counter-argument to net neutrality is that it would squeeze out startups. And since all companies will start at a level playing field with no data, but eventually some more established companies would have a larger share of the internet. And this is a counter-argument presented in Agam Shah's article on the arguments for and against net neutrality. This is possible if net neutrality is not regulated. However, if it is regulated well, net neutrality can reduce prices for internet access and allow smaller companies to flourish. And a third solution to this is developing decentralized social media networks, which this is the best solution out of the previous two and all solutions here that I am presenting. And this is the best one at the moment, since not much social media company regulation have been implemented yet. And putting some more stock into this solution helps diminish the power of big tech companies and prevent future monopolies based off of the technology that alternative decentralized social media networks use. And these networks are not only run by one company or just one person that can profit off of this, but rather ran by the users. And this allows those companies to be decentralized and not become a monopoly. Blockchain technology does not have data in one place, but rather have it spread out in nodes. And additionally, those websites also use cryptocurrency, which are online currencies that are not associated or regulated with one government. And seeing the favorable conditions of it, as stated in Competitive Enterprise Institute's article on decentralization, the conditions are favorable for this to happen. Big social media sites in general are seeing less engagement, as shown in this graph here, on various topics. And alternative social medias like Minds.com have an active and growing user base. And this can allow those websites to be as big as the big tech companies' social medias. And in order for this to be a possibility, which is to have more decentralized social media networks without the rise of more monopolies, Congress should not regulate the technologies of blockchain and encryption. Out of the three solutions I presented, the best solution in this case is to build alternative social media networks, as people cannot always count on regulation to be passed as soon as possible. Although there's growing support for it, this can be a possibility in the future. And if legislation to combat big tech companies is passed, taking down big tech companies would be a lot easier and would allow smaller social media sites to flourish and prevent the rise of monopolies in the future. Thank you for listening to my speech.